Hello Glamours and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the notification bell for more upcoming DIY future videos. For this DIY Instagram request, I was asked to recreate or use this lamp as my inspiration. I decided to use it as my inspiration and create too. If you would like to find out why I created, just continue watching. For the first lamp, I'll be starting off with two large painter sticks, and you may find these at your local Home Depot at the painter's counter. And I'll be spray painting them white, and then I'll be gluing them together. For the remainder of this DIY, I'll be using my strongest wood glue and glue sticks. I will have a complete list of all items used in the description bar below. And don't forget to follow me on my social media platforms linked below. I had a bunch of DVDs and CDs that I was not putting into use, so I'll put them into use for this DIY project. I'll start by gluing the DVDs 2 inches away from the top. I would like the lamp to look a little wider on the sides, so I'll be using small craft sticks to extend the sides. As I go, I'll be marking my placements before gluing. Make it flush and stand on the base. I cut a little bit off the bottom. Next, I'll be using 2 wooden rods, and I'll cut them in half so I'll have a set of 4. Next, I took 2 wooden rods and glue them together, and I'll repeat the same step so I'll have a set of 2. I place markings on my rods, so when gluing them in place, I know how far I need to go in. And I also left 2 inches away from the bottom, and this will help the base stand in place. If you follow me on social media, as you know by now, the name of my channel has changed because I am based more of a light and decor channel, but I will continue doing other DIY projects in the near future. For the second lamp, I'll be repeating the same gluing steps with the painter's sticks and the DVDs, and I'll be placing the DVDs in a different pattern. If you notice, I did not spray paint the painter's stick white because I came to realize that the painter's sticks would not be showing, so spray painting would be optional. I also cut the last DVD to make it flush and stand in place. For the bases of the lamps, I'll be starting off with 2 6-inch plastic bowls. I took measurements of the legs on the wider lamp and I'll be using my soldering iron to cut them out, and I won't be cutting out the center. Once I was done, I took a styrofoam block and I cut it in half for both lamps. Next, I took the block of styrofoam and I glued it in the center, and this will help with the balancing on the lamp. Next, I grabbed some rocks from my backyard and I cleaned them, and I will be gluing them around the styrofoam, and this will help with the balancing on the lamp and it will make the base much stronger. I also took cardboard and cut it to size, and this will create covers for the bottom part of the base, and then I'll lock them in using hot glue. I repeated the same steps for the second lamp. Next, I added hot glue in between the spaces and I pushed the rods down gently. I was done with both lamps. I took them outside to a well-ventilated area and I spray painted one metallic silver and one metallic gold. Next, I took some large iridescent gemstones and I'll start gluing them in the center of each disc. I also added gemstones on the bottom to cover imperfections. For extra shimmering, I'll be adding small gemstones and I'll be adding them around the edges of the top of each disc. So glued on gems on the bottom edge of the base, and I also glued on 2 skewers on top to help attach the lampshade. I'll be repeating all the same steps on the second lamp. Next, I'll be making 2 lamp shades, and I'll start off with strong poster board. Next, I needed a 20-inch circle, so I'll be using this 20-inch hula hoop, and I'll trace my circle and then I will cut it out. I need a center, so I'll use my long ruler and I'll draw 2 straight lines, one vertical and one horizontal. I needed a 4-inch circle in the center, so I'll be using this duct tape roll to create my circle. Next, I'll be cutting on one line only, right up to the center, and I will also be cutting out the circle. For the one side that's cup open is just to get the shape of the lampshade, and before that I will cover it with mirror reflection paper. Once I was done, I'll start sliding both ends in together and then I'll glue them in place, and the size of the lampshade will be a size 16. Next, I'll be using 2 8-inch embroidery hoops, and I'll just be using the inside ones, and I'll glue it in the center, and this will make it nice and sturdy. Also cover the second lampshade with gold mirror reflection paper. To hold my lampshades in place, I'll be using 2 round 5-inch styrofoams, and I cover them with both colors of mirror reflection paper. Next, I took one large skewer and I spray painted metallic gold, and then I'll be cutting them into 3 pieces, and I'll be cutting them 3 inches and a half. Next, I'll take all 3 skewers and I'll start sticking them 3 inches apart, and I'll be sticking them in an angle facing out, and then I'll glue them in place. I repeated the same steps on both. Next, I placed it in the center of the embroidery hoop and I folded the legs in just a little bit, and then I'll glue it in place. I repeated the same steps on the second lampshade. To attach the lampshade, all I did was push the foam down onto the skewers and glue it in place. And for lighting, I used 2 remote LED touch lights, and all I did was just place it in the center of the styrofoam. And here are the finished looks. I really do love the way both lamps turned out, and what I love the most is that they both have their own unique looks. Now you know not to throw away those old DVDs and CDs. Put on your thinking cap and create something beautiful with them. Let's not forget the beautiful lighting that will bring into that special room in your home. And when we're creating this DIY, you will never look at DVDs or CDs the same again. Here's the request and mine side by side. Yes, they are different, but they all stand out in their own unique way. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these 2 DIYs as much as I enjoyed creating them. Now don't forget, I post new DIY videos every week. Like and share with family and friends, and subscribe if you haven't. Comment if you wish. Turn on your notification bells for more upcoming DIY future videos. I'll see you on my next DIY upload.